Yeah, we started out as a solo project with this, and it kind of grew out the band. So we've been talking about it is very, very likely that when the Nightwish tour winds down, we'll start doing something with this again. It's a pretty good while back. Somehow the Nightwish grew out of a lot of venues, and now we cannot fit into these places anymore, which is kind of a shame because I love doing clubs, which I've realized very, very keenly also doing these shows, because we've had a really good times with the guys and doing the shows for these couple of weeks. Yeah, it's just been brilliant to be again close to the audience and see the wide grins and wide eyes. Sometimes in some places where you had a full off day, then it's possible to go and really see places. But the show days are I don't like to fill them too much. And of course, on touring, well, with Nightwish, for instance, we were in Peru for a couple of extra days, so we took a domestic flight and some bus and train rides, went to Machu Picchu and things like that. I don't really know. Of course, we talk about our home countries and experience and everything, but it's kind of building up a holistic view of the worlds we move in when we're together. When usually the same thing when we go with your friends. We are friends, yeah. So I haven't learned anything particularly surprising about Netherlands, but that I wouldn't have known before. Well, I guess every one of us who plays and writes a lot has those aspirations. And when the Nightwish was about to enter a sabbatical year, I figured that would be the time. I had some material that I had been writing, and then I called a couple of friends, or actually asked a couple of friends of mine that would they be interested to start arranging and sticking out the structures of the songs with me. And that's how the whole thing came to be with the lineup that we have also in the band. I asked Willy as the keyboard player and Tuomas the guitar player. Another Tuomas shouldn't be mixed with Holopainen. And these guys, they came over to my home studio and we started checking out the songs and all that, and they got really into it. So then it was all just, we started working on it, and guys were having a lot of nice ideas about particular arranging stuff, and they had ideas how to fill. There were some gaps still unwritten in some songs. For instance, C part, totally musically for the voice of my father. I only had that I know that it's got to go into this chord. This is where we started. It gives a nice vibe to it. But I didn't have anything certain. And then Billy was like, I got something, let me think a little bit. How about this kind of a thing? And I was trying the lyrical stuff over it. You got it. It's in the song. I really love playing these clubs with the guys. The closeness to the people and all that, and the good vibes that we can share is something that I haven't been able to do in many years, that in this kind of extent. And I'm enjoying the shit out of it. It is by no means to say that there is such a thing as a perfect fatherhood or anything. We have our faults. We transfer the good and the bad. And for instance, me and my father, we both were full-blown alcoholics at some point of time and then got out of there alive, which was great for both of us. But those are things we transfer. I'd say that when we started working on it about 3 years back with the guys, I'd say that finishing touches to the songs and all that happened pretty much during the first year. But the song ideas and lyrical stuff that I had at the moment for that 3 years ago, they stretch way back in some places. That some piece of line of lyrics or something that had been without a story might have come from back 10 years. Some little musical piece might be back from the 15 years that, okay, this has got a good riff. I haven't used it. Let's put it in here. And then we move on into making a song. That kind of things happened. We did break some deadlines, and there was some trouble sometimes too, and too much work at the same time. And that's why, for instance, we ended up releasing Finnish album first, because they were supposed to both come at the same time, because there are both songs original in English and original in Finnish. But we had already booked Finnish festival shows And then when the time started to run out, we realized that we gotta finish the finish. We gotta finish the finish first in order to go to those festivals. It is pretty different. I mean, Nightwish is of course more symphonically big and flamboyant and bombastic and all that words they use. So this started out as like the band we have. We have a four-man group. It's smaller and more kind of tighter surroundings. But we did not hold back in like arranging the music and all the layers and atmospheres that it had. We tried to make something that would have substance and also for the songs to have real like strong identity for them to make a nice combination. Well, lyrical wise, yeah, it's pretty real. Talking about my father and my boys and about the continuum of fathers and boys throughout their history, what we transfer back and forth. Not necessarily to translate either Finnish to English or English to Finnish, but of course there were certain principles, like for instance, the voice of my father. Now, it's a subject that I wanted to avoid Hollywood cheese above all. So when you do a translation about whatever that touches the personal relationships and love for real, it's really easy to drop on the side of the corny and the cheese. And those I wanted to avoid as well. So that might have been one of the hardest things to like take hold there, criteria was hard. It's from the Pyre of the Black Heart, of course, that was my idea, kind of taking out your inner blackness and crush it and burn it. There's been times and things that sometimes try to change you. And no matter how many dicks there are in the world, it's no reason for me to sell my principles. That's why the title. And I had this vision, and I saw this poster this guy, Remo Paul, had done for Nightwish, basically, the usual Nightwish imagery, time glass, an owl, and he had done it in this nice, old school pencil drawing lines and all that. This is a very nice technique, and I figured that this kind of, touch of the old world would fit the album cover as well. So we contacted him and would you want to do a cover? He did. We're getting the album out this year with Nightwish, and we're gonna start touring with that too. So band is more upfront, both with instruments, both with 3 vocals, doing a bunch of really nice harmonies. That much I can say, but then nothing else. We started out as a solo project with this, and it kind of grew out the band. So we've been talking about it is very, very likely that when the Nightwish tour winds down, we'll start doing something with this again.